I'm Tino Sutra, and you're watching On the Road presented by HYRE. I don't really live by a quote, but I live by this little thing I do. It's like I live and die by the coin, and not money. It's like I literally flip a coin for every single thing I do in my life, basically. As small things about like, do I want to eat McDonald's or Wendy's today? I'll flip a coin, and I just got to do it. Even though I want a Big Mac, I'm gonna get Wendy's just because the coin says so. Or like, if I want to drop this song or that song, I'm gonna flip a coin. I think the last song I dropped was because I flipped a coin. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of just like leave it up to chance. I'm way too anxious and indecisive to like just go about shit regularly. I don't know, man. I'm weird. Success to me in terms of music, I feel like it would be, I'm gonna relate it to someone, but it's kind of like what like my idols or like my biggest influences do to me, like a Kanye West does to me or a Kendrick Lamar does to me. The way like I'm invested when they're about to drop something, and like I'm very like, I'm breaking down their projects, or I'm breaking down what they're saying, or like if I see so and so do something and that's amazing to me, that inspires me to be even more driven in life. I think that's what success ultimately is in music. Like at the end of the day, everyone wants to make music that they like themselves, right? Like I go into music and I make music for myself at the end of the day. But at the same time, as soon as it's out, it's not mine no more. It's for everyone else. And I feel like that's something that we tend to overlook, because at the end of the day, I want people to be inspired by me or be even more driven after hearing my stuff or seeing what I'm able to do. I think success is really determined by how everyone else feels ultimately from your music that you put out into the world. 2K. I get really cocky when it comes to 2K. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sick at 2K. I found my love for music, I think just over the years. I used to write a lot, so from like middle school until now, like I've been writing songs in general, not necessarily recording them, but writing them. And when I would write, I would talk about things, especially way back when I started, I would talk about things that I wouldn't really talk about to other people, whether it be like my family or like relationships or things I've been through. And back then it was mainly a source of, I don't want to say therapy, but it was a way of like me to get out things that I wanted to say, but I couldn't just go walk up to my friend and be like, yo, this is what's going on. And that ultimately led me into recording music and kind of just feeling it out from there, and now going back to the idea of like talking about things that I might not necessarily have in my day-to-day conversations, but this gives me a way to let that out in a way that I feel confident speaking about certain things. Day in my life. I wake up, I have a coffee. My biggest vice, I have a coffee. I gotta be Tim Hortons, double. I try to stay off the sugar, but I can't. I don't eat breakfast. I don't like breakfast meals ever. And then, yeah, I've been trying to work out. You know, my body's not that great, so I've been working out, so I'm gonna add that. I work out a little bit in the morning, reply to emails, and then basically kind of just coast the entire day. It's not that interesting. I'll try and make music or write some ideas, or like write like video ideas, and anything to stay creative, but for the most part, it's just kind of, I take the day as it comes. My biggest fear has always been failure. Not necessarily just with music, but I feel like everyone has different goals, and each goal serves a certain purpose. And just failing in any one of those main achievements, I think that's something I'm fearful of. I think music-wise, my biggest inspiration is Kanye West, because like he changed the way I listened to music when I heard My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and it was also my like first concert I ever went to, so I really got exposed to him in new ways from the jump. But then like overall, that like my drive literally comes from my family, um, just wanting to do better and be able to provide in a way that I don't think working a 9 to 5 can. 100% I believe in aliens. I feel like it's impossible to me, at least, that we're here alone. I'm not saying like there's people living on Mars and shit yet, but like I feel like there's so much out there that it's impossible that there isn't another version of a living organism. The perfect life for me, definitely something in like, if we're talking like 20 years down the line, I want to be able to say that I fulfilled all my goals in terms of my music career. And I have more goals aside from music, but specifically in that realm, because that's what I'm mainly chasing. I want to be, hopefully, like down the road, like a sick dad and shit. I don't know if that's too deep, but yeah, like have a good family, be good with my family, be able to take care of everyone in my life, financially and also just in other ways as well. I think just very like a very generic dream. Like everyone kind of dreams of money and success. I think that ultimately is where my mind is at. But at the same time, like being able to mainly take care of the people in my life is priority number one. I'm scared of death, so whatever happens after I die, I don't know. I'm kind of terrified of that. I've always been terrified of death. Acceptable, but you know. But when I die, I think what's gonna happen is, I believe in spirits and all. I don't know if I believe in heaven and hell. I hope there's a heaven, and I hope that I have a good enough karma to go to heaven. But overall, I don't know. I think it's just energy. I could be wrong though. I don't know what the hell happens, man. Like, you just die, you know. 100%. I feel like everything's lucky. Everything is just a game of luck. Like the odds of you being birthed are like, I don't know, like a couple billion to one. That's luck right there. Me being in this position right now, having this interview, that's luck right there. I think everything is just luck at the end of the day. The biggest achievement in my career so far, honestly, is having the people around me genuinely believe in what I'm doing. I feel like, because when I started making music, it wasn't like all peaches and mangoes. I had all the homies were making fun of me because I wasn't good, you know. They all saw the passion, but they were able to tell me like, "Yo, you're not good," and I kind of just worked on it. And now I'm at a point where everyone around me in my life that's closest to me genuinely believes in me, which is, I think, something that a lot of people don't have. But that means the most to me. Man, sometimes I think we're in a simulation, but like that goes against some things that I believe in. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Like sometimes I think that we're in a simulation. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, nah, fuck that. But I do feel like if we are in a simulation, there's an Elon Musk figure playing video games with me right now. And that's how I look at it. I tell my younger self to take that leap and step out of your comfort zone earlier. I only started making music in like my first year of college. And one of my biggest regrets is not trying to start earlier. And a lot of it was due to insecurity. I've always been pretty insecure, or like I got really bad anxiety. So like all those just combined to be a hellhole. So yeah, that's one thing that I wish I could tell my younger self to do, is just take that chance earlier. All right. So my middle name that my mom gave to me is Valentino. I was born on Valentine's Day. And then it was just like, I had a bunch of shitty artist names before, and Tino was just like a short version of that. And then the Sutra, I had like a bar in like one of my first songs where I said something about Karma Sutra. And then my boy called me Tino Sutra. I'm like, yo, that's a sick last name. And I don't have no deep shit story about that. It's just my shortened version of my middle name and a cool last name, honestly. And my thing was I wanted it to look good on paper, right? And that was something that I didn't have, like the Twitter handles and all couldn't just be 4 letters because that was always taken. So Tino Sutra just ended up working for me. Man, these questions are something I never thought about. The meaning of life to me. You ask me in a couple of years. I don't know. Like I live to a point where like my issue is I forget to slow down and like take things for what it is. And I'm trying to come to terms with that and fix that. But anything to do with life, honestly, like I completely blank with these type of questions because I don't know. I feel like when you're chasing something that in a sense is so out of reach or is so like intangible to other people, like the whole meaning of life or even like just living in general gets clouded because you're so focused on that one goal. Is straight tunnel vision until then. So until then, you just kind of like, I don't know what happens. I don't know what to think of all of this, you know? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. That's me being honest as hell. So my top 5 artists would be Kanye West, Drake, Frank Ocean, Party Next Door, and Simple Plan. Those are the top 5. When everything is done, like the whole process is kind of like a blur the entire time to me. So the writing process is kind of just everything is in the moment. You're kind of just feeling out the process, feeling out everything. And then when it's done is when you really get to sit back and view everything as a whole, right? It feels like graduating almost. So like when you're in high school, you don't really think about it too much. But when you're done, you really look back and see like, oh, I did all this, right? That's it. Yeah. My favorite song that I made is a song called Tough. I think the process of making that song really came about in a new way for me that set up where I'm going with my music now. The overall writing on it is something that was new to me at the time, but inspired more interesting ways for me to create music now. And even the concept behind it is all about me just wanting to talk about myself, acknowledging the fact that I'm pretty selfish when it comes to my relationships with people, but kind of poking fun at that whole situation with myself. So yeah, I think that song really set up a lot of where I'm going now with my career in general. I don't really know how I stay creative. People ask me all the time, like, how do you come up with this? Or like, what makes you think of, I don't know. I think it's just over the years putting in the hours and it's kind of just trained into your brain. The creative aspect, I don't even know where I get that from. Like my parents are not creative at all. They're like just like blue collar workers. But yeah, I don't know. Staying creative, I think it's just like the environment you're in. I'm not the type to like work on music or write a song every day. I can't do that. I don't live enough for that. So like I just take it as it comes. I'm creative. I got like a 3-day window where I'm really creative, and then for the next 2 weeks I'm not. So it's kind of just I take it as it comes and let it hit me as natural as possible. 5 years, man. In 5 years, I hope to be able to financially help my family. I hope to be able to really be doing everything in music I want to do, and like not having any restraints on my creativity. And I also want to be able to own a Tesla. I think, yeah, the SUV kind. Superbad, no question. Superbad is the greatest movie of all time, writing wise, acting wise, overall concept. I think that people are stupid if you don't think Superbad is the greatest movie of all time. Oh, and Dark Knight with Joker. I think that was crazy, but Superbad's better. I don't know if it would be considered crazy, but I got diagnosed with something called Crohn's disease. So like that was pretty crazy in my opinion. Like I stayed in the hospital for like 4 months in like high school, and like I remember I came back to class, and I made a whole lie up. I'm like, yeah, I went to India for like 4 months because I didn't want people to know I was in the hospital. I think that was pretty crazy because like even in that time, kind of like it put me in a position where I was by myself in four walls, just thinking all day, and put into perspective what I really wanted. I thought a lot about the pursuit of music as a career. I thought a lot about my friend circles, and just a lot of things spiraled from that. And I think that's a quote unquote crazy moment for me in my life. My dream collaboration would definitely be Kanye West. Not even just like a verse, but just to be in the studio and work with him. I feel like everyone that he works with, he brings the best out of. So I want to see what he can tap into for myself. See, I've only watched Dragon Ball Z as an anime. I can't get into anime. But cartoon, I think SpongeBob is a top 3 show of all time. I think that like will never get old. But Family Guy is crazy. Family Guy is, every day I could watch that. Some advice I'd give to other people would be to take chances now rather than later. Time is so valuable that you don't want to be looking back on today 5 years from now and being like, oh shit, I should have done this, you know. I feel like there's so much pressure around everything we do in life that we forget to do things that we love, whether it be chasing a career or going and trying to get this job or doing this or experiencing this. I feel like just not waiting is the best thing to do. I live by something where it's like, I'd rather regret doing something than regret not doing it, if that makes sense. Of course, in certain scenarios, not in fucked up scenarios, but like in regular shit. I'm Tino Sutra, and you just watched On the Road presented by HYRE. Good vibes, good people. They made me look cute. They had the lighting on me good. I can't complain.